Welcome and good evening to Star Trek Reliant. I'm Bazag, our host for today, just for today, and DM. Grumpy Old Lord will be with us shortly, but he's not quite here yet. And I'll be running today's story. So let's get some introductions happening. We'll start with our captain.
Hello, I'm Duncan Idaho, and I play Captain Marcus Graves. Things will probably be alright. Probably. So long as the duct tape holds. Let me know if the duct tape doesn't hold.
And with our con officer.
Good evening. I shall be your Chaos Gremlin this night.
And our chief medical officer.
I'm Dr. Eli O'Connor. I also currently do double duty as first officer. Till one day I am relieved.
And our officer on assignment from the Klingon Defense Force.
Hello, I am JB. I play Chorog, your friendly neighborhood pirate.
And Duncan will be playing Waitley and or Grimnir when he comes in, our ship's chaplain and Club 42's bartender, respectively. So,
Did you say that I'm going to be playing them?
I mean,
He did.
I did. I meant sorry. I meant grumpy. Apologies, everyone.
No. It's official now. I've got control over them this episode. This is a terrible responsibility.
Until Grumpy Old Lord comes on to take it away from you. So yeah,
If he shows up tonight.
If he shows up tonight. We'll continue on with a bit of wrapping up from last episode. Ensign Stanley from engineering had been filed for a transfer request from Reliant. So is that going to happen, Captain?
Well, Graves is definitely understanding that the Reliant isn't for everyone. We've had quite an adventure recently, especially after the Battle of Lapadas, and people need to find their niche. So he is receptive to that kind of transfer order, but he would like to talk to Stanley first.
Alright, so do you call him into your ready room?
Has Stanley simply given the request?
There is a
Like in no other note. It's just
the request is that so there is a formal request, but there's also a bit of a description about like how he was basically feeling a bit overwhelmed, out of his depth, quite uncomfortable with everything that happened on the set, and he would like a transfer to a more sedate slash less terrifying station position. Something on a starbase, perhaps.
Okay, so in that case, because he's been given detail, that all makes sense to Marcus. So he's simply going to respond, understood. In the meantime, if you want, take a few days off if you want to consider it. Otherwise, I can file this in right away. Your call if you want to give this a little bit of a breather, just to collect yourself after that difficult mission, or initiate the process right away.
You get a message back saying, I would not be comfortable just stopping work, leaving the rest of engineering to pick up my slack. I will be able to work for a bit longer, but as long as nothing too weird happens.
Righto. So Marcus goes ahead and files the request with them for emphasizing the sedate nature of the desired assignment and just kind of highlighting or doing what he can to highlight that for Starfleet Command to make sure Stanley gets the kind of post he wants. And he also sends Rick a note about Stanley's request and his needs over the next few days here.
You get a confirmation from Rick saying understood, and he will be taking that into consideration for Stanley's future assignments. In the meantime, does anyone have any other things they want to do? Nope. Alrighty then. So,
Well, I mean, I was gonna let people say, hey, I want to do this, do that. Let's see. Damn it, I can't play that scene yet. We need Bryce. Marcus is in Club 42.
Kara, Eli, or Chorok?
Yeah, go ahead, Eli. I'm still working on something.
I am enjoying my root beer float, so
This is game time. This is no time for root beer floats.
why can't it be both?
Down in one.
Alright,
Now
well,
it in one, but my teeth are sensitive.
alright, we're gonna
Aw.
say that we're gonna have some time later on for other things. So if that's everyone have their chance, then Marcus, about 3 days later, you get a call from Admiral Quinn.
Marcus takes it in his ready room.
Captain Graves says Admiral Quinn appears on the view screen.
Marcus just nods.
It seems we have a request from the Daystrom Institute for some researchers to be temporarily assigned for some kind of being that you encountered. And he looks down at his pad, an amorpheous blob of some kind. Looks back up to you.
Okay, so they're being assigned to this ship?
Well, at least, you're... The way technically it's that it's, you're being assigned to help them do the research.
Gotcha. All right, understood. Where are we proceeding?
For now, I'm sending you some coordinates in the Eteradani sector. They will meet up with you there in approximately a week's time. I do have also have a note. The request, the transfer will also happen over Ensign Stanley will happen at that time as well.
All right, understood. Yeah, just make sure that if they're carrying anything, specifically that life form, that they keep it under maximum security, and don't do anything stupid.
I have made appropriate administrations in that regard, but apparently they've made some progress in relating to the character. I'm not really sure what they've done in that regard, but apparently the risk has lessened.
A quick sidebar: when Admiral Quinn says that he has seen to the appropriate accommodations, Graves internally is not filled with confidence, so he is still on his guard. So Graves says, all right, understood. We'll proceed to the rendezvous, and yeah, be there at the appropriate time.
Alrighty then. About a day before you arrive, assuming no one has anything to add in the.
Oh, I wanted to announce. I wanted a scene on the bridge where Graves announces it.
Okay.
Okay, we're on the bridge. Characters are on the bridge. Graves heads out from his ready room, looks about, says, "I'm sorry, but our current mission for cataloging gaseous anomalies, it's been canceled."
Sweet.
Oh, don't tell Setsa that. She'll be crushed.
Graves has a moment. Damn it. Rallies. Well, a little blobby friend that we encountered, the one that we fed a drip of exotic radiation. Yeah, so the scientists want to have the Reliant assist them on some project.
Right. I'll just make sure my will is up to date, and we can go do that.
Do I even need a will anymore?
Um,
Because
Yeah, you
nobody
might-
read mine, apparently. You launched me into space. My will said Earth.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have written it in invisible ink.
I did.
Yeah, Eli, I mean, the file did get corrupted.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And again, we have profusely apologized, especially to your father, about firing you out of the torpedo tube.
I mean, I wasn't awake
promised.
when I was fired. After I landed, thank God.
Oh, yeah, but again, we'll try to make sure it doesn't happen again. Anyway,
I mean, I don't think you need to try to make sure, like...
I mean, if you're gonna get fired, fired in your sleep is probably the least traumatic you can be.
Yeah. Like, it's not the firing that's the dramatic part. It's the confined spaces and the landing.
Man, you've been fired
Marcus.
from some weird jobs.
I thought we were talking about about the torpedo. What?
Okay. Okay. So, Marcus says, yeah, and pursuant to the Let's Get Our Wills Updated clause, Admiral Quinn is running the ops on this assignment. So, I want to make sure that on our side, we are maximally prepared to handle any contingency related to blobby life forms that have disabled another ship, blobby life forms that have taken over said other ship, so on and so forth.
Hey, I just do the flying, man.
Graves nods. All right. Well, department heads, get to it. And yeah, set a course to the Ada Iridani system.
Right on.
If that was...
Warp factor 5. Here we go. Everybody hold on. Inertial dampeners are offline.
Wait, what?
Just kidding.
Woo!
Oh, good.
Alright, so as you approach your destination, you get a hail from basically it's a warp capable shuttle, pretty much. USS Reliant. This is the USS Archimedes.
We read you, Archimedes. Are you the ship we're intended to rendezvous with?
Yes, Captain, we are. My name is. It's a woman's voice that you hear. Cersei Sat. I am the chief research scientist on our little project that we run here, and I just wanted to give you a brief rundown of the situation that we're our mission, our goal in our research project.
All right. Now, if it wouldn't to be too much of an inconvenience, though, as we're fairly close to the Klingon front lines, I think it would be best to bring your shuttle aboard if it wouldn't disturb your research project. We can discuss the particulars assignment on board.
Very well, Captain. That would actually be quite helpful. According to our sensors, we're approximately 6 hours away.
Now, is Reliant 6 hours away if it proceeds at warp?
But we're taking in, Captain, the movement of the Reliant as well. So if you were to stop that, 6 hours would turn into...
that was a player question.
So,
yeah, that was a player question, not a Graves question.
Okay, yeah, so it is total 6 hours with the whole intersection, you moving, them moving.
Okay, so Graves says, let's get the rendezvous, let's rendezvous as soon as possible, get you aboard, and safe.
Alright, Archimedes out.
Alright, helm, best speed.
Like, you want me to break the speed limit, or...
Breaking it a little bit, I think it'd be fine.
Warp factor 6 it is.
Wait, just 6?
Speed limit's 5.
It is?
Yeah, there was a TNG episode where they established...
Yeah, but I thought they fixed that. They did something
Yeah,
with the warp.
they did fix it. The warp speed limit no longer applies.
Okay, but, if you run your engines full speed all the time, you'll just burn them out.
That's what we have space docks for.
And this isn't all the time, it's just a few hours.
They call me the crazy one. Okay, warp factor 9.
I mean, once Rick Tier
Just
starts
9.
calling the bridge, complaining, then we'll slow it down, I guess.
I mean, we've got a relatively new ship. I don't think we need to worry about too much taxing the engines too much here, just by
Exactly.
going warp 9 on a standard run. Now, if this was an Excelsior class, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
Hey, no skin off my nose. I know where all the escape pods are.
I'll just follow you then.
Alright, the Reliant makes good time. Can I get a let's say a reason con roll from Kara there? Difficulty 2 if she can make it. Need to type it in fresh. Yeah, there we go. 2 successes. You actually, with the help of engineering, you're able to go a bit faster than Warp 9, and you cut down the 6 hours travel to 4.5.
Okay, I'm gonna assume Rick Tier did this because probably Kara would not have actually asked for this.
Yeah, well, you use the you're able to use the con systems to make the appropriate requests and shuttle.
I guess my
power
point is
around
that
it.
Kara wouldn't have requested it unless either directly ordered or unless Rick did it on his own,
okay.
because she's already not comfortable going this fast.
All right. Well, All right. Well, Rick does boost the power anyway a bit. And the Reliant drops out of warp, and so a few after seconds, it's in a pretty sparse area. There's maybe only like a couple of asteroids within anywhere near. You're basically in extra solar space. You're not within any system currently because you sped up. You this is where the new meeting rendezvous has been calculated. A few seconds later, the USS Archimedes. It's basically a Danube class runabout. Drops out of warp nearby and officially requests permission to dock aboard the Reliant.
As the flight control officer and con officer, Kara gives permission.
Alright, they navigate into the ship's shuttle bay, land, and are you guys going to meet them in the shuttle bay, or what are you going to do?
Kara turns around and looks at the captain. Shall we go schmooze the ooze?
Graves takes a long, deep breath and says, well, as captain, I feel like I'm going to delegate that task today. Ensign Moon, you have the con. Or Lieutenant Moon, you've got the con. Lieutenant Gianrani, you've got the ooze to schmooze.
Oh, and we get to stay here. Sweet.
Eli, you talked. You're with Kara.
Damn it. Wait, does that mean I'm in charge of this? Or...
You outrank me, you're in charge.
Okay,
Congrats.
Alright, so
Kara makes a point of standing behind Eli as they go down. She also makes a point of making sure she has her phaser.
Eli, while they're heading down, Marcus sends a note to Chorog to check on the shuttle bay and provide security escort to the incoming science team.
Chorog acknowledges, grabs a spare disruptor pistol from his quarters, and heads to the security bay, to the shuttle bay. Heads to the shuttle bay to see about security arrangements. He arrives there, he finds a few security ensigns standing by, and says to them, be ready to provide security escort for the dignitaries.
Yes, sir!
Eli looks back at Kara, looks at the phaser. Are you sure that's really going to be necessary?
Look, you do what you want. I don't trust that blob thing. I didn't like it last time, and I don't like it this time.
I know, but what I'm saying is, will it be effective?
Well, I tell you what, if it comes down to it, we'll find out, won't we?
I mean, I guess. At least you're not getting checkers to make a flamethrower or anything.
I would not trust that man with anything flammable.
Fair point.
Alright,
Let's go.
Yeah, as you meet Chorog and the two ensigns at the shuttle bay door as you approach.
Chorog snaps to a quick salute to Eli and says, security arrangements are in place. We are ready to proceed at your discretion.
Kara moves over to Chorog. So this scientist, they're bringing along a weird blob thing that eats radiation. We've met it once already. Of course they're going to bring it back.
Wait. You mean they're bringing the blob that tried to kill us last time back?
No, that was something else. You weren't here for this blob. This blob came in a container.
Oh, lovely.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right, well, are the rest of you ready?
I mean, ready as we're going to get.
All right, let's
Ready,
get
sir.
let's get this over with. Eli enters the shuttle bay with the security team.
As you enter the stairs, a ladder that allow people to come down is just extending out from the shuttle, and two people are coming down, and in between them is the little blob, not in a box apparently. But it's following in between. It seems to be behaving itself. There doesn't seem to be. Can everyone give me an insight security that's there?
Oh boy, if Eli somehow gets this. Insight is security. Okay, so
Eli. Eli's the
Wow.
only one that sees something in like the blob's body is partly translucent, and he's able to see some kind of device inside the body. It's sort of familiar, sort of like a something like he might put in as a prosthesis or like basically a mechanical organ replacement, but it's something that he doesn't recognize. It is definitely something that is is incorporated into the blob's body, but there's no sign of any clothing or any other marker of position or ownership.
Eli approaches the scientist. Welcome to the USS Reliant. I'm Dr. Eli O'Connor, Chief Medical Officer, Temporary First Officer, and Local Revenant.
And so the scientist that is at the front is a female Bajoran. There is what looks like a male human behind her, and the Bajoran reaches out. Thank you for joining us. Sorry. Thank you for welcoming us. My name is Cersei Sat, and this is my colleague Brian Johnson. I believe you've already met our friend here.
I believe we have.
Yes. Sorry.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I've taken to calling him Olan Pard, meaning, and the male behind her sort of interferes, saying, his name is Bob. And the two get sort of like into a little bit of an argument about what to name. Like, talking about just sort of like back and forth between colleagues. Sort of, that gets a slightly bit heated.
Eli, he's thinking this to himself, so nobody could really tell, but he's thinking, weren't we the ones to discover this? Shouldn't we name it?
Kara is busy face palming.
Trog's keeping a sharp eye on the thing.
Does seem to be sort of like moving around a little bit. Give me another insight security, Trog.
Sure thing.
Okay, this time he is being attracted to various sources of radiation, particularly like mainly to the ships and other warp capable shuttles in the area, particularly the Danube class they just arrived on. But he does seem to be like start to go in that direction, but then sort of stop and actually somewhat is behaving himself.
All the while, Chorog is staying at least a pace behind it, hand on his disruptor pistol just in case things get out of control.
All right, and well, Cersei goes, well, all right. Anyway, let's not talk about naming it anymore. I guess. Anyway, let's go and meet your captain. Let's get down to business, shall we?
Of course. In the meantime, would you like to bring the subject to a science lab to make sure they are properly contained, or would you like them to continue?
We have been able to do at least some basic training. He has actually responded quite well to sit, stay, come, follow kind of basic commands. You may notice that there's a device in there that is we're able to transfer, use that to deliver limited amounts of baryonic radiation that will used as a reward mechanism. So he has been able to, through that, we've been able to train him at least relatively well.
Interesting. Well, I can only hope it holds up, but for now, it is free to come with us.
Great. All right. Show us the way.
All right, Eli's leading the way.
As they go, Kara steps between Eli and the blob and kind of motions for Chorog to fall in behind the group.
Chorog motions to the two security ensigns that were there when he showed up to take point, and Chorog takes quick steps to be by Kara to follow alongside her to keep an eye on that. The blob, Chorog just doesn't trust it. He says quietly to Kara, "Yeah, I'd feel real better if we had some kind of contingency plan in place. Portable level 5 containment field in case Junior there gets out of control."
I'll be honest, the last time it was here, it was relatively simple to isolate it. But no, I'm not exactly pleased to have it back. I'm not sure why it needs to be out in space on our ship to begin with.
I know something about this just doesn't seem right to me. Call it a pirate's instinct.
Call it distrust of scientists.
That too.
Can Eli hear this, by the way?
Probably, since they're right behind him.
I hope distrust of scientists doesn't apply to the medical field.
That's a doctor, not a scientist.
It's still a science. Medical science.
Look, you can be a doctor or a scientist. Which one you want?
I can do both. Probably. I mean,
See, this is why people don't trust scientists.
I mean, I made you the arm. That's science, isn't it?
It's medical engineering.
That's technically engineering.
Okay, fine. I'm not a scientist. I don't...
Kara quietly feels smug with herself for having been able to rib Eli on something.
Chorog is grinning slightly under his mask, but you can't tell.
Told you never to have that thing on when you're near me. How do I know you're not making faces at me under there?
He probably is.
We shall never know.
I mean... Hold on a second. Can I know with empathy? Can I... I am empath.
Roll Insight Command there.
Do you really want to go take a walk in my mind?
I'm not taking a walk in your mind. I'm just seeing if you're making stupid faces, or if you're just, I don't know. I think that's 14. 1 success.
The
Do you
lesson
want
here is
to
that Eli has
roll
insatiable curiosity.
roll an opposed presence command there, Chorog?
Residence command, okie dokie. Yeah.
Ah, shit. We need to roll again.
So what was your yeah, I'm gonna say that it is, you can tell something's going on behind there, but you have no idea what.
I'm just gonna guess he's probably making faces, he says to Kara.
Well, I don't intend to find out. Do you want to be the one that takes that mask off?
No.
You're not gonna like it.
Alright, I was going to take bets on how many fingers he lost doing it.
I could go for a snack right now.
And the moral of the story, Eli, is don't encourage us.
The moral of the story is I really don't think I needed a security escort for this, but captain's orders.
Indeed.
As you're going along, following the two scientists seems rather oblivious to your conversation, and they're just sort of talking amongst themselves and looking at the blob and commenting and just sort of pointing at him every now and again. The blob seems to be still behaving himself. He's still following in amongst the scientists as you approach. Where are you taking them?
The bridge. That's where the captain is.
Bridge. All right. The turbolift doors open, and the bridge doors follow soon after as you walk out.
Yeah,
onto
well,
the
they
bridge.
also, as I recall, the scientists, I think, wanted to see Graves. Responding to a message here in chat about Graves said delegate.
Yeah, Graves said. Yeah, Graves said he's going to delegate. Kara was in charge, and then Eli was in charge, and now they're coming back to the bridge
Because the scientists wanted to talk to Graves.
Yes, listen.
But Eli was in charge.
Listen, I thought
They didn't ask
I
who was in charge. They said they wanted to talk to Graves.
Listen,
We're simply doing what they want.
to be very, very fair, I thought I was just going down to greet them and retrieve them. So I'm doing a good job, I'd say.
The ship is in shambles. Everyone, go for the conch. All right. Graves is on the bridge, just hanging out with Lieutenant Moon and whoever else is on duty at that point. And he looks to the turbo lift, sees the entire cadre of people, and if it's visible, he frowns when he sees the blob on the bridge.
Kara gives the slightest shrug.
Chorog is just kind of standing there staring menacingly at the blob. He still doesn't trust it.
Captain, the scientists would like to meet with you, and you don't need to worry about the blob. Currently, they are trade. Eli kind of looks doubtful, but
The key word there is currently. All right, if they want to talk to me, let's go ahead and go back down to deck 2, diplomatic conference room.
Acknowledged. Kara holds the door
Graves-
for him and then goes right back into the elevator.
Graves
Alright.
says, Moon, you've got the bridge. Waitley, just try to keep an eye on things around here. And he heads down with the group to the conference, the diplomatic conference room on deck 2.
All right, everyone's follows down. Kara, can I get you to do an insight security roll, please?
I actually got a success. Jesus.
You get a success, and with that, the blob still is seemingly behaving himself. He's just following closely along. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. And you go into the conference room. It's sort of as people are walking in, the blob sort of just climbs up and sits on top of the table, and is sort of amusing himself by changing different shapes and colors, moving oddly but staying in the sort of same area. While everyone's filling in.
Kara
Chorog,
just
Chorog,
Kara just
oh, go ahead.
Kara just moves and takes a position at the captain's left hand, and when he sits down, she will as well.
Chorog motions for the 2 security escorts to remain outside the doors, but remain vigilant in case they are needed. Chorog then takes his place behind the captain.
So, Graves noticed that Chorog and Kara are responding to his movements. So he spends a long moment just looking out the window at the starfield, just appreciating the view for a little bit before sitting down.
Kara gives no fucks.
Chorog's just there to take up space.
So Graves sits down at the table, has a datapad ready, and looks for the scientists.
So, Captain, thank you for talking to us. We have done a lot of study, but one thing we haven't been able to figure out is the origin. We have no records of anything similar to this blob. Our scans have not been very informative about its general makeups, considering, it just sort of absorbs a lot of the radiation we try to point at it. And fortunately, we've been able to access some of the Al-Khwarizmi's records, and we have pinpointed the location where they first discovered it. Furthermore, during our research, we believe that this being was at one point significantly larger due to various response to various stimuli. We have seen rather contradictory, confusing responses, which, according to our anthropological contacts, indicates that there are large areas of missing knowledge and gaps in experiences. So if we can find where this came from, then perhaps we can figure out what to do with it.
All right. And I appreciate that this assignment has come down from Admiral Quinn, but I'm just going to lay through a few points here. Number one is that if you weren't able to identify where this might be, or might have originated, then chances are the Al-Khwarizmi's location wouldn't be able to provide much information there. simply because it may be its point of discovery, but you have no idea if it's had travel time since. So, on that point, I just want to make it clear that we do have some limitations in how long we'll be able to be tied up for this investigation if it turns out that we're not able to find something immediately. Second point is in trying to fill in the gaps in this, the understand or the knowledge of this entity. You do have to consider too whether or not the new information will be amenable to its development. Simply because not everything has had a great and happy positive experience. You may be looking at something that is partially weaponized. You could be looking at something with a predatory nature to it. So, I just want to make sure that we are totally ready for contingencies here. I do want to protect my ship, I want to protect you, and I want to protect this little fellow here. So we do need to be going in not on blind hope, but on rigorous precautions. The last point is simply, have you looked for a baryon source?
We have limited scanning data of that area without so we don't have any rather historical data to base it off. Last scan, I believe, was about a year and a half ago. Baryon radiation is not something that is generally included in standard sweeps.
All right. So coordinate with the science department here to modify a set of probes to scan for whatever you need that wouldn't be part of the standard suite. Baryon radiation, byproducts of baryon radiation decay, so on and so forth. So you've got free access to that department. I'll see to that. And as far as a location, we'll definitely set a course to the Al-Khwarizmi and then follow any leads that we pursue from there, discover from there.
Oh, good. Talking about security again, as part of our additional research, has discovered more of a blunt force has been more effective in dealing with, let's say, errant behavior. The energy weapons have been energy discharges either non-affecting or have been absorbed. But a strong slap or physical interaction in that manner has been rather effective in at least halting activity. So if the security forces decide they need to act to prevent something, then a more physical response would be the most effective.
Graves says cautiously, "All right. As for hitting the thing, let's save that as definitely not a first recourse in trying to correct for errant behavior. As said, you've trained it, and I believe you've installed the device to allow you to throttle the energy it's receiving. So let's try to play within those bounds. But let's go through with a first order precaution. Let's just try to keep this little guy in an environment where he doesn't act out. A secure spot. Don't take him around the ship. Secure location. Nice, happy environment. Stable, stable, stable.
All right. Where would you suggest, since this is your ship, Captain?
Oh, primary science lab. Easy enough. Got containment facilities there on hand. as well as several large, well, clipboard data pads at the very least that you can use to slap it if it comes to that. But it is towards the center of the ship. Shouldn't rock too much if we get into any situations out here. So let's go ahead with that.
All right. We'll deposit our things in the. Do you have quarters, by the way, Captain, for us to make use of?
Of course. So those have already been arranged. You'll find that in the guest itinerary email sent to your network accounts.
All right then. In the meantime, Brian, would you take our things to our quarters? I will escort our friend here, Bob. She says that with a bit of a exasperated face to the science lab to set him up in his accommodations. And she goes, thank you, Captain. Is there anything else you will be needing from us?
Nope. Let's just go proceed ahead with the survey mission and make whatever arrangements you need to perform the appropriate scans.
Thank you, Captain. If you need us, you know how to contact us.
Understood. Graves nods.
And with that, they leave each on their own task.
Kara
Graves,
immediately looks across the table at Chorog. Get some low-yield photon grenades to the security team members.
I was just thinking that. I will make sure that happens. I am also going to set their phasers on a rotating modulation.
Phasers in principle probably aren't going to work. Remember, this thing feeds on energy.
Let's see what I can come up with.
Don't waste your time on phasers. Think about physical containment devices or basically ranged slaps. Like something like some kind of soft air projectile. Something you can just give it a simple slap, heavier slap, or full containment if you need to at range.
Oh god, are you talking about a unip gun? We made those back in grade school.
Pretty much.
I'll have to talk to Checkers. I think he might have something that we could use as a deterrent.
I'm sure he's got something on the heavily lethal side. I'm ordering you to find something on the non-lethal side.
I could do that. I will work on that. I'll also work on some kind of containment box that is basically pointed suck, if you know what I mean.
Yep. And again, don't expect that to hold for too long. We had some trouble containing him the first time. But since it appears to be growing more intelligent in the fact that it's been trained, we may not have to go as far. I mean, maybe just giving it a short timeout, it might calm down. So let's go ahead and proceed on the assumption that we might not have to contain it for long on some of these measures, but long enough that we can bring other containment measures into play if needed.
If you say, and judging by what you had said, that if this thing is gaining intelligence, the more deterrents we have in our arsenal, the better. That way, in case it learns to avoid one, we could spring something else on it.
Yeah, if we're repeatedly using them, but
Well,
let's just hope that being in a nice, stable environment is all we need for it to have a happier time on this ship than last time.
Kara just
As
pats
far
Graves on the shoulder and says, worst case scenarios are Chorog's job. Let him look at worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
expect the best, prepare for the worst. It's always worked for me.
Yep. Otherwise, any thoughts about this question of its origin?
I can assist in modifying some long-range probes to scan the area. No use putting our ship in any kind of danger if we can just send out a probe to do that.
I'm still curious why they didn't send this thing to the Al-Khwarizmi in the first place, since it's the one that discovered it.
It's Admiral Quinn.
You also,
Ow.
by the way, know that the Al-Khwarizmi generally has a more Starfleet intelligence kind of bent to it. So it's possible that it's on a mission or is otherwise occupied.
To put it bluntly, they outrank us, so we're the ones pulling babysitting duty.
Yep, pretty much. So, otherwise, as far as what to look out for, definitely want us to have a bit of an eyes-open approach as we're approaching this region. Because again, we don't know the context for Bob's creation or birth, whatever the case may be. So let's be prepared to react in case something external poses a problem. Otherwise, how's everyone's day going?
Eh.
It goes.
I don't have
Yeah.
any comment.
If anyone's happy to see the little booger back, it'll probably be Setsa.
Oh crap, she's in the main science lab.
Thankfully, we
Well, they'll have their hands full for a while.
So what color bow do you think she's going to put on it?
green.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but it kind of blends a little too much together. I'd say probably black. Give it a bow tie.
Also, what of the baby tardigrades?
What of the baby tardigrades?
Oh, what? Are they going to be okay with this thing on board?
So long as they don't see it, I think we'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure the baby tardigrades will be fine if this ship goes warp core breach.
Oh, better safe than sorry, you know what I mean? I think maybe we ought to find something to keep them occupied while this thing's on board.
Well, I think Hazra's latest puppet show came out on the extranet, so put that on the theater and bring them over there, and they should be fine for a while.
Especially Skipper, he seems to be the most inquisitive of them.
She
seems to be the most inquisitive.
Yep. So just make sure they're all watching that puppet show, and we should be fine. Based on how they how they took to the last one, yeah, just put that on a loop. They'll be fine there for hours.
I'll do.
All right. So Chorog, you're working on the security measures. Kara, I want you back on the bridge, just keeping an eye out and reacting in case we need to. So, Eli.
Kara,
Yes, Captain.
realizing she's been dismissed, salutes and leaves.
Eli, since
Trog also salutes and makes his way to the weapons lab.
Eli, I want you to take care of the mission, gather them all up, put them in the theater, just make sure that they're out of the way in this particular case, and then I want you just to give a casual check to the science lab to see how things are going there, and to help facilitate with the scientists.
Facilitate with them.
Yeah, so basically point of contact and keeping an eye on them just to make sure that what they're planning is on the level.
Course, Captain.
All right. Well, get to it. I'll be back on the bridge.
Eli gets up and goes to find... start with the first part of his assignment.
Find the baby tardigrades.
This is actually going to be a bit more difficult than usual. So, Eli, can I get you to roll an insight security for me? Or command. I'll give you the other.
I'm going with the man. Okay, so 2d20, 15.
You're able to find everyone but Skipper.
Oh. Oh no. Eli, once gathering who he can and bringing them to the theater, he looks at them and asks, "Does anybody know where Skipper is?"
No, I think he was playing hide and seek and we kind of lost him. Skipper just goes and plays. I want Puppet Show movie! Puppet Show! Puppet Show! Puppet Show!
All right, puppet show movie. Computer, you heard them.
The screen starts playing Hazard's puppet show movie, and the touch grades are there, all getting engrossed in it.
Eli leaves the room. All right, gonna try to find Skipper. This is gonna just one more look around the ship.
Yeah, give me one more insight command. All right, Duncan, where is Skipper right now?
Skipper is in one of the ventilation hatches above the main science lab.
Oh. Oh no. How is Eli gonna just find that out?
So Eli, you use the ship scanners and is able to go, okay, and this is what I know about the tardigrade. What can the ship do with the scanners to find them? And
Really, can I suggest something?
yeah,
Checkers crawling through the vent just vents finds contacts Eli.
righto. Welcome back to Star Trek Reliant on our little investigation mission to this now planetoid with a half-destroyed ship, apparently. So the await team has been assembled. Kara, do you want to give me a control con roll, please?
Kara is on the away team. Moon would be at the helm.
For the shuttle taking... are you going to take a shuttle or are you transporting down?
I would say beaming down would be the plan A.
Alrighty then.
If we do take the shuttle, I have 3 successes.
Let's take the shuttle.
It's just with the radiation, it's sort of the transporter officer recommends taking a shuttle, and so Kara does pilot one of your own shuttles, not the Scientist Danube class, but one of your own shuttles down to the planet's surface. You land. Where do you want to land?
Upon landing, Kara pops the door open and walks out in her EV suit.
Alright, so...
She has a potato gun, just in case, as well as her phaser for non-Bob emergencies.
Alright, so as you land this, you see this large black vessel that is apparently crash-landed. Before you, it's about 200 meters long. Let's say about let's say 300 meters long. That's around 1,000 feet. For you Americans, I just sort of expanded it out, and it's about 10 meter wide. Its shape. It's a shape. General shape is more of like a football, an oblong, points at the ends, but sort of growing and bulging in the middle. It's more of a it is more of a football than any shape. It's pretty unusual, but it's definitely broken up and gaps in there, and it's not in good shape. You could easily access the interior of the ship without even going through like an airlock or a door.
So Kara activates her headlamp and starts walking over, and on the way she scans for power sources.
So yeah, the thing, the scientists and Bob follow after. Give me a reason science check.
Sorry, what science check? I missed the first part.
Reason.
Two successes.
Okay, can you also give me a insight con roll?
One success.
You're able to, with the scans, you're able to identify a power location from the schematics, and that you're reading. You're not very versed in engineering, but you're able to recognize a command and control area when you see it. So there is power to basically the bridge of the ship, if you want to get there.
Kara mumbles a few curses under her breath, turns to Chorgan the scientist and says, I've got a lead on a power source in the ship. We can go there and maybe find some command and control circuits, maybe a computer, maybe some records. I don't know. Maybe a turret that'll pop to life and kill us.
Maybe survivors, if you're being optimistic about it. Cryostasis, who knows?
If that's the case, allow me to go in there first.
Can we find more bugs? Oh, I'll find more bugs.
Say again?
I find more bugs. You find more bugs?
Find more bobs is what Skipper is saying.
Ah, okay. I couldn't understand. Maybe.
Skipper just proceeds down the hallway.
Trog reaches into his bag and hands Carl one of the modified photon grenades, just in case.
Thanks. Although it looks like we've already got a designated volunteer to check for traps. She points at Skipper, who is walking ahead.
Kara, one thing you do notice with this scans is that there is a general field of radiation. It's a generalized side of thing. There is not one specific area that is more doused in radiation than another, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. You're glad you have your EV suit there.
Kara points this out to the scientists and Eli and Chorog and everybody. It says, yeah, there's not really a specific source of the radiation. It's just kind of leaking from everywhere. Joy.
Sure to go through a thorough decontamination process.
Hey, I still remember the polywater incident. Why do you think I'm in this suit?
Trog sees Skipper getting a little bit ahead of them and says, don't get too far ahead of us, Skipper. We ought to be able to keep eyes on you.
bop, 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 bop.
She continues on.
Well, I guess we better catch up if she's going to keep going ahead like that.
Chorog quickens his pace to keep Skipper within eyesight, even though the lighting is now that great and he's just going off of the spotlight on his EV suit.
Arrow follows along. If nothing else, we do have at least, the fact that she'll set off any traps, and she's nearly indestructible, so...
Yeah. So I guess we're all in EV suits. Chorog's in one, and Kara's in one. Eli's going in one. I bet these scientists feel silly if they're not wearing one.
The scientists are also going in one as well, since,
Okay.
they're not...
So the scientists are going in one? Wow, limber. They must like each other a lot, too.
It's a tandem suit.
One each. Anyway, so you crawl up. It's not a difficult climb into the actual first level of the ship. You're immediately struck by an unfamiliarity. This is alien, and you're all different aliens, so this is something you've never seen before.
Kara makes wiggly fingers and says, "Ooh, non-Euclidean. It's from the old ones."
Even though it's totally Euclidean, it's just unusual. Can I have...
Skipper yells back. When Kara says that, Skipper yells
Back. The old ones smell funny.
Okay then. Wow.
Kara yells back, "You're the one who didn't take a EV suit."
A bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about this too.
Can I have everyone do inside engineering checks for me?
Oh fuck.
Oh, that'll be great for a tardigrade.
Oh, I don't know engineering. Oh no.
No, it could be worse.
Behold my 8, and I got a success.
Behold
Who's
my.
better at engineering than Kara?
Well, you have to realize that engineering and insight are both bad skills for Kara.
I've neither passed nor failed. I just.
Chorog, it's all up to you, man. Oh wait, no,
Yeah,
okay,
so
you've already rolled,
Chorog rolled 2. Nick doesn't. It for Connor, it's just weird.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I have a talent. I'm a doctor, not an engineer, where I could replace my engineering with my medical.
Do it.
Okay.
Oh, that would be 2 successes if I used that.
Okay. So, with your medical engineering knowledge, and you and Chorog, you're very wary of everything. So, you notice some little things that draw your attention, and as you approach, these consoles sort of start to materialize out of the side of the wall. What was just a bare open corridor actually has some sort of computer interfaces on it. They're not active in terms of being able to connect to a computer or able to accomplish anything, but there's still that sort of action that going on as you approach. This is beyond anything that any of you have ever seen technology-wise.
We really should have brought Setsa. She could interface with these, probably.
Chorog
Skipper.
sees these consoles forming and calls everybody stop moving. These consoles just showed up. We need to make sure they're not going to be any kind of hostile to us.
Skipper lunges on top of one of the consoles.
And the console seems to actually support a weight. It doesn't do anything else. It's just there. She's on top of it.
I caught it! I caught the console! I caught it!
Oh, Skipper, it wasn't gonna go anywhere. I think.
Skipper,
Skipper
please.
tries to. She tries to rip it out.
Oh no, Skipper! No.
No, don't do that.
No.
Can I get Skipper to do what would be a daring security check?
Okay. And also for the record, I am doing these legit, so I'm using Lieutenant Tardigrade's character sheet for this. So daring security. Oh no. Two successes.
Oh no.
Oh god.
So
7-11.
it actually looks like that Skipper is like going to rip the thing out of the wall, but it's sort of her arms pass through it, and suddenly she's on the ground, lying on her back. The console is there as it was when it first opened.
The console got away after it!
These consoles
So-
are holographic. This is interesting.
It supported a weight.
The Doctor can be solid when he wants to be. That doesn't mean they're not holographic.
Had a point there.
Touche.
So, who votes that we go get set? I'm not having a good day pronouncing things.
Wait.
I vote you do
Okay,
it because
so-
I want to see you say her name.
Sets. Did I get it?
Trog turns to
Close enough.
Dr. O'Connor and says, "Oh, we really need Setsa for this."
It would be preferable if we're dealing with technology that's on this level.
Kara turns back to Chorog. You see, the thing is Setsa's an XB, so she has a strange thing about machines and everything. She can connect to them without even touching them.
In this case, that would be very helpful because, honestly, I wouldn't touch these consoles. Oh, who knows what they're booby-trapped to do?
Well, see, that's why we need Setsa.
Torag, I think you should be the one to go and get her.
Skipper raised his hand.
Ooh, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it?
Before you do it, make sure she has an EV suit before you bring her down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Permission granted.
EV suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Skipper, go straight
Skipper.
to Setsa, get her, and come straight back. Don't go wandering around.
That does, I'll let you know, Turok, that does conflict with the order. Make sure she has an EV suit on first. To that direction, Skipper would have just grabbed Setsa and then spore jump back instantaneously.
Allow me to clarify. Skipper, go get Setsa. Make sure she has an EV suit on. Make sure it's turned on. Then come straight back. Don't go wandering around. Don't stop to look at the puppet show.
Puppet show. No, okay. I won't look at the puppet show. I'll go do that.
So Skipper spore jumps back to the Reliant, tells Setsa, which takes a moment or two to explain the particulars. She checks with Graves. Graves gives the authorization. She goes, grabs an EV suit, throws it on, and joins the crew down to the planet after Skipper spore jumps them back.
Yes, indeed. There is... It's a very quick... It's just like sort of a few minutes and then sets us back. Exactly where where the rest of the team are.
And Duncan's plan of having Skipper ruin everything is in shambles. Okie dokie. So...
We haven't moved.
Setsu waves.
Heyo!
Ah, welcome to Planetside.
Hey, sis. We got some strange computers here. Can you feel anything from them?
So, what's her role gonna have to be?
Give me an insight. What's better, science or engineering?
Science 5, engineering 4.
I better make this engineering.
Okay, so insight or reason?
Insight.
All right. And I gotta take a look at something real quick. I gotta check my trait sheet because I think something applies. I get a bonus D20 for computer efficiency.
Yeah,
And I am attempting to. All right. So, computer expert has been brought in. And so let's take a look at her focuses as well. I gotta bring that back up. Information systems. Would that apply to this particular machine?
I'll allow that to apply.
Oh, okay. Damn it! 3 successes, 1 complication.
Okay, so you're able to. This is a very unfamiliar computer system. You're basically trying to deal with it by the seat of your pants, just trying to pick things up, trying to understand just how things are meant to flow. That's the main problem that you're facing, just in facing with the computer. And you're actually doing a really decent job of it. Unfortunately, the complication is that any actual request you do seems to be not working. From your understanding, this computer system has some kind of break in it where it's just not able to access any of the information you actually need it to be able to access. It's functional, it's working, you have an idea of how the computer system operates now, so you can move with that forward, but you're unable to actually get any legitimate information. With that, I'm creating a advantage for you guys that you're now familiar enough with a computing system to make it negligible to use this new system.
So, on the bright side, I know how to use this thing. On the downside, it doesn't work.
Breaking the system line somewhere, huh? Well, I guess that means if we just keep going, we might find something still connected to the main computer system.
Oh, isn't this going to be fun?
Skipper climbs on top of, climbs up and just piggyback rides on top of Setsa, just nodding and now just being a observant little tardigrade.
All right, as you can, I presume you're leaving and continuing on.
Yep.
All right,
Ara will
walks
go
in.
first.
there's currently
Trog walks right behind Setsa, keeping an eye on things.
as you all leave, whoever's the last notices when they go past, let's say, 2 meters from where the console is, that it sort of just collapses in on itself and then sort of disappears into the wall. It's not that it sort of folds in or some kind of the holographic projector just stops projecting. It's sort of like there was never a console there now. That there was a physical console, now there's not.
Oh, great. Stuff around here implodes when it's not being used.
me
Oh,
wonder if the
thanks for
ship is
bringing
still.
me down to all this.
Oh, was that sarcasm or actually genuine?
She was using a slightly sarcastic tone with that.
I'm sorry. I thought you'd be a big help. Or I thought you'd be
Really big. Well, I was in the shower when Skipper came and got me, so a little bit of a rush this morning, but otherwise, yeah, I'm happy to actually help, but yeah, this is a little bit of a sticky situation.
You make it through the rest of the ship. Go, Cara.
Uh-oh.
Geraldine?
Is
Sorry.
Baz okay?
I'm okay.
I'm fine. What's up?
I'm still okay.
Okay, well, someone was... Okay, so there was just a bunch of, like, and then furious clicking noises. So I was like, something breaking?
So anyway, did you have something to say, Cara?
Just, I was joking. Kara thinks many things when she hears that Setsu was in the shower, but says nothing.
All right. So as you continue to go on, you do see a number of other consoles. You're able to determine, yes, they're all these ones. They're still broken, but you manage to get to the command and control interface that you find. You notice that the power is up, and as you approach, you come to a console that actually does seem to respond to basic information requests. The area is, unlike the rest of the ship, this area is actually quite boxy. It's sort of like almost a perfect square. Cube in shape. Perhaps a bit squatter, but the area is about 30 by 30 foot, 20 foot ceilings.
Stuff's not glowing green, is it?
No, there's no green. Setzer has detected no sign of any kind of Borg technology. The interface was completely non-Borg. She could tell that by interfacing with it that this is some other civilization, not Borg related in any way at all.
Kara relaxes a little and looks around. Okay, so who wants to be the first one to press buttons?
Oh, me. I want to press the buttons. Press button. Press button. I want to press it.
Okay, so can I get Skipper just to roll a d20 for me? Okay, with that, Skipper actually goes around and actually presses a button that actually seems to do something. You're able to bring up a schematic of the intact ship. Does seem to be indicators and markers around showing, well, where there's a lot of damage, and they do seem to interact with where holes and things are that you found. An accurate layout of the ship.
Kara goes up to it and helpfully points at a spot and says, "We're here." And then she drags her hand through various parts of the ship. And all of this is fucked. I mean, in case you couldn't tell.
Skipper gives a curious glance at Kara and says,
What's that word mean?
You're teaching the child how to curse.
Skipper, I'll tell you later.
No, you won't. That's an order.
I was about to say, Kara was about to launch into a description of where the word came from in Old German.
As the educator of the little ones, I'm gonna put a moratorium on that particular word for now. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So there's the schematics. Here's the the systems. So what exactly are you intending to do here?
Damned if I know. The scientists wanted to come down here and bring Bob. I'm not exactly certain what we're looking for. I guess some link between Bob and this ship.
Frog's been studying the schematic rather intently and notices something in what appears to be some kind of science lab possibly marked containment vessel, and is quite obviously breached.
There is there is a little. The area that you saw is just sort of off the side of the bridge. There is also another part near it that is marked computer areas. You're with the access to the universal translator sets as understanding of the computer system. You've been able to get some basic idea of at least some kind of a language that seems possibly familiar, but is really strange as well. It's that sort of uncanny valley kind of situation where parts of it seem familiar, but parts of it make no sense whatsoever.
Ah,
Okay.
French.
So here's an idea. We know where the computer core is. We've got minimal power. How about I go back and get us a bunch of storage mediums, and then we copy everything we can off this thing while we're still able.
Wait. Are we able to transmit it to the ship instead?
I don't know. Depends on if the radiation's blocking communication, but I would imagine it's probably not. Kara decides to test this. She double taps her communicator. Ginrani to Graves.
Give me a, let's say, reason engineering. There is
Two successes.
There is a bit of interference, but you're able to make it through without any problems. You'll get a momentum for that.
So Kara basically just says, yeah, there's interference, but we could probably boost through it. I'd still be a bigger fan of using actual storage medium, but it's your call, First Officer.
I think, who wants to carry it if we do? I say we transmit and, take copies just in case.
Well, either way, I guess I'll be carrying it.
I'll help carry it as well.
Kara, just looks around everybody's nods and says, okay, I'm going to go get some storage media. Don't move. Make it easier to find my way back.
This is a bridge, right?
Setsa just points a finger at Skipper and just sort of looks around the room.
Do we really want to use Skipper as our go-to carry mule? It's not her job to do everything.
Okay, so fetching data storage units. Oh no, let's not use the tardigrade for that. Fetching me? No, totally. Yeah, bundle me up. Just fit me down in a crate.
Hey, I wasn't responsible for that either.
Were you?
I was responsible for making sure you got an EV suit.
Well, that's appreciated. Although I do have the 4 nanites that allow me to process hazardous environments, so...
Yeah, but EV suits, when do we get to put these? It's like a special occasion.
Yeah, I guess.
Fine. Skipper, would you please go back to the shuttle and bring us the storage materials?
Okie dokie.
Be careful.
And Skipper sport jumps.
So
Before you can say be careful, Skipper's already sport jumped.
So while you're having this conversation, the scientists approach the schematics of the ship and start evaluating their own. They, this what's her name? I forgot her name.
Jones.
So there's Brian Johnson and Cersei Satt. Cersei Satt says, from what I'm reading here, there's some spots that have a reduction in radiation signatures.
And if these things eat radiation,
You have a bunch of more of these things probably on the ship.
Yeah, I'm reading about 3 of them. Excluding Bob here, yes. Which
So if you want,
she looks around, see Bob as actually on one of the consoles, just sort of is doing something, but you're not sure what.
Setsa tries to tell what Bob's up to with her neural interface.
Alright, so Setsa connects to the computer system, and from what you're seeing, there's just an extra bit of baryonic radiation that has managed to sort of leak into the system. So Bob is actually at the moment just eating that, and he's not actually accessing any of the computer parts.
He's doing the equivalent of watching YouTube.
Essentially.
Kara looks over to the scientists. So are any of these dead spots on the way to the computer core?
Well, the computer core is right next door. We've got a few spread throughout the ship, though.
Kara squints at the schematic. Next door? Damn, I wasn't reading this thing right at all.
I believe it's down that way, and points to one of the a door that there's another door on the other side, and the door that you came in on. So there's sort of like a T-junction in this command and control room. The other door to the left that doesn't have the computer control, that is basically the equivalent to the captain's quarters, ready room, sort of captain in the area, from what you can tell.
Well, submitted for the first officer's approval, I suggest we grab what we can off the computer core and then go investigate the dead areas of radiation.
sounds like a sound plan of action. Let's do it.
Thought you were going to say a sane plan of action, and I was about to exclaim, how dare you.
Oh no, it's totally insane.
There, I'm not
Hey!
losing my touch.
It's insane, but it's a good idea given everything.
So the problem is that it's pretty much spread out. There is no obvious order to these things.
True, but basic math tells us that one of them has to be closest to our location.
You pick up one that you believe is the closest. Can I get someone to do a reason science or engineering?
Oh, that's gonna be me. Me.
Kara beat her to it and got 2 successes.
Everybody's doing it.
So,
Can I do it too?
And everybody's getting 2 successes. So far, it doesn't matter who does it.
I feel like I'm gonna fuck this up, but I'm gonna fuck this up.
Alright, are you gonna do it, Doctor?
If everyone else is, I'm just seeing what I roll at that point. Nope, I am the I am not.
At least it wasn't two complications.
Yeah.
So everyone except the doctor comes up with the same answer. It's a bit of a more. There's ones that are closer as the bird flies, but require far more fiddly and a roundabout way to actually approach it. The one you've got selected is actually one of the few ones with a direct route to it. So even though it's a bit further away than the others, it's going to be much quicker. Dr. Eli is just sort of trying to still guess and figure out what the answer is when you all come to the same conclusion.
Kara shares this information and takes a few minutes to set up a few nav points on her EVA suit. She sets up where the shuttle is, vaguely that direction, sets up where the computer core is, and sets up where that the first thing they're going to is.
Well, are we going to go to the computer core first? Or are we going to go to one of these radiation down spots?
I think we're waiting for Skipper to get back.
Oh, can I have a suggestion on that?
Trog looks around and said, "What's taking Skipper so long?"
So when
Puppets.
Skipper returns, she comes back with a Cardassian data core.
What?
Skipper.
Kara,
Where'd you get
stone-faced. Absolutely deadpan stone-faced. Just looks over at Setsa and says, "Have Skipper get it," she says. "Let Skipper do it. She'll be fast," she says.
Where did you get that?
At the spinning station that I went to it once. It was spinning. It's spiky.
Deep Space Nine?
Did you jump to DS9?
Maybe. I kind of forgot what you had asked me for. Like, you said data core. I didn't quite know what data core was. So I had to go ask someone on the spinning station, and they pointed me to another person, and then they gave me this.
Technically, we asked you for storage medium, and we asked you to go to the shuttle. Oh god, Curlin's gonna have my head for this.
Yeah. He's gonna have all our heads.
You know, it's fine. We can use the Cardassian data rod.
No,
The question isn't why can we use it, the question is what was it doing back on DS9 that it is now not doing since it's next to us?
Well,
Short answer to that, it's actually a blank one. So she didn't rip it out of a computer; it was given to her.
yeah, I was going to say that as one of the scientists. Well, if it was given to her, then it should be fine.
Oh, fine.
Just our lucky, I'll have one of Quark's holosuite programs on it.
Right. Anyway, data core, computer core, let's grab what we can. I'll help Setsa if you want me help.
Help would be appreciated.
So
they
Setsa
go
sets
off
to work grabbing the data. Yeah.
All right. So as you head into the computer core, and you're initially a bit unsure what to do because there's nothing obvious there. But you start walking through the island, knowing that a computer console just sort of appear, and one just sort of appears on your left hand side as you approach it. It actually, as you look at it, you can actually put this thing in here. It seems that the console shaped itself and configured itself for a Cardassian data rod. You can just put it in there and it'll work.
Well, that's damned convenient. And slightly creepy.
Which incredibly creepy.
Indeed. Indeed, indeed. So let's put the magic rod inside the magic computer terminal and get all that yummy data.
I don't like this.
I haven't liked any part of this.
Check.
Don't you think it's damned odd that this console changed itself to accept a Cardassian data rod?
Once again, stone-faced deadpan. Kara turns and looks at Chorog and says, "This vessel, with its consoles that pop out of nowhere and implode, and its strange radiation readings, and its connection to Bob the Blob, you know what? I'm not sure what's strange anymore."
Well,
Let's just
I'm
load
just
the
going
damn
to insert
data.
the rod into the thing.
Yeah, so
Yep.
you insert the rod, and it's very easy to initiate a file transfer. You're able to tell that a lot of the data is going to be corrupted, but there's still a good chunk for you to go through. So you're able to get what you can from that, and your familiarity with the consoles with the computer system means you won't have to do any kind of roll for it.
Woot.
Okay, let's go look at the dead spot. Right, Commander?
Right.
And off we go towards the one that we can reach easily.
Chalk proceeds to take point. Because what if something's going to come out at him? He wants it to hit him first.
I think you should stay with the scientists, actually.
So
I'll stay with the scientists. You just be careful.
all right, so you approach the first spot. You do see a similar-sized blob about 10 meters ahead of you as you turn around the corner. Seems Bob notices as well. He's traveling back in the rest of with the scientists a bit further back, but he starts to make his way through pretty quickly towards this first blob. The scientists trying to get him to stop. They're saying his commands. They're doing some. They're trying to get him to stop, but he's apparently not listening.
Oh my God, who could have expected this? I certainly
Not me.
did not.
I didn't expect this either.
Kara says this, but all she really does is have a photon grenade in her hand, and she just waits to see what's going to happen.
Setsa doesn't quite get the context of the situation, so she's just seeing the two blobs go together and just kind of awing at what she thinks is going to be a happy reunion.
As the two blobs approach each other, they merge into a larger, bigger one. Still have the device in them that was originally there, but sort of turns around you and there's a shift in it, and sort of like you're reading as it's facing towards you, and there is some kind of acknowledgement there before it starts to run off to somewhere else again.
Oh, hell. Everybody follow Bob.
Following Bob.
Don't these things become more intelligent when there's more mass to them as well?
Yep, so let's hope they're benevolent.
Yeah, that was the going theory, which is also why I haven't, done anything hostile yet. If it's keeping the peace, I'm keeping the peace. Doesn't mean I like it.
Bob finds is big.
Well,
Big.
where is Bob going? And they sort of chase after him as well. Um, do you guys just chase after him? What do you guys do after? Like, is it?
Yeah, Sets is just going to be following, not like
That's what
trying to
Kara's
stop.
doing.
Yep, that's all of us.
All right, so it's not at a pace that you need to run, but it's still fairly quick. And you sort of notice as you go that, hang on, he's going to the second spot.
Yeah.
He's catching up to the other to one of the other blobs that are remaining, and the only problem is you get to it, and there is a complete serious block in the pathway. Bob can squeeze through, but you guys, you're completely separated for now.
Kara goes up to the thing and kind of squats down at the crack and just kind of calls through, "Hey, Bob! We're kind of stuck, Bob. If you can hear me and understand me, it'd be nice if you could let us in."
You think we'll be able to cut through this with phasers?
Probably, but I was just going to see if I could maybe get some diplomacy going.
Give me a presence command roll.
Kara.
From Kara, yes. Presence command.
Oh my God, I
close.
got a success.
You got a success, but it doesn't seem to be enough. There doesn't seem to be a response.
Hey, I was rolling against a 9. I'm still happy to have a success.
Skipper tries to fit through the hole.
It's too small even for Skipper.
She pushes her snoot at the hole and calls. Just a sec.
Friend Bob. I use tardigrade class to call through here. You open for us. Okay? We be friends. Friends. Give hugs.
Okay, give me another presence command from Skipper.
Famous last words. Oh. Two successes.
Okay, that seems to be enough. I need to get Bob to do a roll. So so Skipper, you see a now somewhat larger Bob come back towards the thing and start pushing up against the blockage to your way. It doesn't really seem to be budging it a lot at all, really, but he's trying.
Good Bob.
Kara goes
Good
over
Bob.
and-
Good Bob.
Kara goes over and tries to put her cybernetic arm to some use and help.
Alright, give me a daring control. Daring securities. Actually, daring security. I will allow fitness as well, actually.
So fitness security?
If that's better than daring.
Daring's better.
Can Chorog lend in some of his strength?
Yeah, you can add a roll as well.
What are we doing? Fitness and what?
Fitness or
Security.
daring and security. You get to choose which one.
I'll do fitness and security.
Yeah.
There goes the shoulder again.
Okay, so Okay,
Chorog grabs
so
hold of one of the
as
bulkheads and
okay,
grabs onto Kara's arm just to add a little extra leverage.
and as he's doing that, he slips, knocking the thing down, but causing him and Kara to land on their backsides.
You two all right?
Well, my pride's a little wounded.
Be all right.
Right, that's all that matters.
So I guess we're back to being blocked.
I'm doing
The doorway has opened up. So with that, it was the right amount of force at the right spot to do it, but as it sort of gave way, you sort of lost your footing and collapsed.
Kara stands up, dusts herself off, turns to Bob, bows a little, and says, "Thank you."
And finally, he actually sort of waits and sort of does like a pseudo arm that sort of emerges from his body and sort of moves a bit as he then follows off at about a bit faster pace than last time. If you want to do
Right on.
insight,
Follow the amoeba, everybody.
yeah.
Yep,
If you-
we're going.
So this time, can I get everyone to do fitness security, since this is faster than last time?
Booyah!
There we go.
Ooh.
Elias.
Two
Apparently,
successes
we are
all.
very quick.
So you're actually able to all keep up very well. Eli is actually doing remarkably well and sort of has to restrain himself a bit to keep level with Bob as they approach the third and last. This last one is actually a bit difficult for Bob, even for Bob, as it's sort of located up in the middle of the roof on this sort of like overhang as a sheet of metal has fallen down. The blob is visible but accessible by anyone.
Except.
Yes. Skipper.
Yes.
Skipper will attempt to spore jump and collect the little Bob.
So this one I will need there isn't a lot of room, so I'll need her to do a roll. I'm just trying to figure out what roll to do in this one. Let's do control. Science or engineering?
We. Aha! One success, one complication. The best result for this kind of situation.
Okay, so you're able to get close enough and grab Bob. The only problem is Skipper doesn't really have any like doesn't have a lot of purchase. So as soon as she grabbed the third blob, she pulled it down with her, but she also fell onto the ground. It started to fall towards the ground.
Can Kara try to catch?
You okay over there?
Kara can catch Skipper pretty easily without any issue, so it's all pretty good. It actually feels you feel something really odd, Kara, as you look down and see Bob climbing up your leg, up your torso, over Skipper, and connecting with this last blob that Skipper has.
I appreciate your zealousness, Bob, but you could have waited until we put it down.
Drog has his hand in his bag and gripping one of those grenades just in case things go south.
Kara
Yes, the photon grenade.
attempts to withdraw herself and Skipper from Bob's clutches? Question mark?
Bob just sort of, after they're sort of reconnected and after a moment, Bob just sort of himself just sort of falls to the ground. I mean, it does, after a moment, he does this sort of wobbling thing that you've actually never seen him do before. And the scientists never seen him do that before. And that's rather... I've never seen him do that before. That's rather interesting.
Skipper will try to imitate the...
Alright, Skipper tries to imitate. It does seem to change. But it's sort of weird and unusual. Still sort of this weird and unusual behavior is still happening.
Skipper is not going to run out of patience here.
So what are we dealing with here now? Are we dealing with 1? Are we dealing with 4? Are we dealing with a gestalt? Or... Man,
We're dealing with an ocean, yet a drop.
Can I get everyone to do an insight science for me, please?
Oh, I'm totally gonna have Skipper do this too.
We lie.
Okay, everyone who got a 2, which is Eli and Kara, haven't got a result for Setzer yet.
Setzer was right at the top. She got 8 and 17.
Yeah. Okay, so Setzer doesn't get this, but Eli and Kara do. They seem to be sound waves. That's a kind of instinct that you're getting by looking at this rather weird wobbling.
So sound waves, huh? Kara takes out her tricorder and kind of scans Bob's little undulations there and turns that into a sound wave.
As you do, you're getting this rather... It's rather distorted and unusual, but you're getting clear words coming out. Hello? Can you hear me? Like, you should be able to hear me.
We can hear you. It took a little doing, but we can hear you.
Fascinating.
Thank you. It was rather weird only having some of my memories. And
I'm guessing they're not all pleasant based on how the ship looks.
Well, no, but well, it's definitely better than it was, and thank you for helping reunite me. Anyway, it's yeah, it was.
I mean, it's a
I
pleasure. What can we do for you now?
I'm gonna intercede with something real quick. So, at realizing that Bob can talk, Skipper cries,
Now, Bob friend can talk.
and she totters forward, just on her back forelegs. So, front forelegs just outstretched in a hug, and she kind of face plants into Bob's amorphous body and just gives him a hug and just kind of sinks in a little bit.
So, like, there is, as Skipper does that, there is a light sort of film that sort of covers around her for a brief moment, but then sort of relaxes as Bob sort of, like, finishes the hug. There is a light pressure that is placed by the film as it before it ends.
Eli speaks up. I'm not sure how much cognitive function or comprehension you've had so far. So, just so this is a fresh start in a way, I'm Dr. Eli O'Connor, and this is the crew. Glad we could help
Power
you.
waves.
You,
We managed to get the files off the computer system, but I'm not sure what else we can do down here for you.
What is your name?
I was
Like-
never given one.
Bob. 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 Bob.
I think it is now Bob.
Kara just kind of snickers a little and goes, "Yeah, that happens with tardigrades."
My memory is quite disjointed. I've experienced that before when I've split and recombined. Only sort of vague impressions and memories rather than, sort of true memories, I guess. Memories that I make, like, when I'm fully rejoined. But I do get the sense that I'm good with you, friendly. It's sort of weird feeling. I'll get used to it.
I'm Bob. And Bob.
Eli turns to Kara. So, are we considering this an official first contact now?
Kara looks back at him. "I guess so. I wouldn't expect to have so many of these."
Right? He looks back to Bob. We're from the United Federation of Planets Starfleet, with the ship USS Reliant.
Yeah,
And we should probably tell our captain.
I have some memories of that. I've got symbols and words that only are sort of now being given meaning.
Well, if I may be so bold, we probably don't want to hang out here forever. We've got the information from the computer core. We've got you back together. Those, I think, are our two big sources of information at the moment. As far as salvaging the ship, maybe that can be done, but I don't think Reliant can handle it.
Well, I do have some memories of the ship, and I'll be happy. There's some tastes that are very fairly weak now that were very, very strong before. Anyway, yes,
So
let's go.
Okay, because I was going to say, if you got anything else we need to pick up,
Uh, I just need food. I don't really have any belongings.
Okay. Well, let's head on back, and I guess the scientists can turn up the thingamabob and get you some more food.
Eli taps his comm badge. O'Connor to Graves, can you read me?
Graves here, what's up?
So we've made first contact with Bob.
Is Skipper hugging it?
Yes. And
Alright, things are going pretty good down there then.
I think Bob is sentient. Sapient? Sentient. One of same difference.
Well, if you made first contact, that'd be implied. Yeah. So, are you requesting pickup?
We're going to make our way back to the shuttle, but I'm just letting you know so you can prepare all the formalities. Let's Starfleet
Yeah, I'll
now.
get the paperwork started.
Yep.
Yep, although the science team can also do a little bit of the heavy lifting there, since this is their baby, so to speak. So, yeah, make sure they're apprised and briefed in the situation. I'll have them lead basically the initial cataloging for the xenobiology database, but yeah, good show.
Captain, this is going to be one really weird first contact report, since technically first contact has been ongoing for about a few months now.
Well, now it's official, and I'm sure we could all overlook you trying to train it.
Well, Bob has had at the time an intelligence equivalent of that of an animal.
Understandable, but that's why I'm saying we could just move past that. No judgment. There was complications in this, and now we've had them sorted.
Yes, I mean, obviously, that,
While everybody's busy talking, Kara's putting together a little beacon and setting it down so that they can find the wreck more easily next time.
It's just about preserving sentient life's dignity. Things like that.
Can I get trained? I want training. John got training. He do good tricks.
Let's head back to the shuttle.
I don't get training?
Not right now, Skipper. We'll teach you some cool stuff
training.
later. She gives Skipper a pat on the head.
Setsa will also just pick up Skipper, give her head fuzzles, and give her some calming reassurances as they head out.
Alright, back to the shuttle.
alright, for the sake of time, since we're getting right up against the end here, I will give a brief overview of what you find in the database and what you get from Bob. So, from the ship's database, you find that Bob was a created being that was designed to eat baryon radiation, so they wouldn't have to would be able to stay in space and wouldn't have to get baryonic sweeps regularly. Separated into different blobs, and that each was meant to control different areas, but some weird crash happens, and the ship destroyed. What you also get is that this ship is legitimately from the future, and part of the thing with chronometric was that Bob was created in the future and sent back to the past through this crash. The details about how the ship crashed and what the circumstances of that were. It was lost in the damage that the system ship took. But that is the basic rundown, and when the crash happened, Bob was able to merge and be in that, but due to various things that happened in the environment, had to split up again. So that's where we are. If you guys have any questions for Bob.
Yeah, Kara just puts her xenobiology stuff to some use and helps out on the report. She mentions that Bob could be a sort of distributed life form, maybe similar to the Denevian neural parasites. And she also sends off a message because somebody really ought to tell Philip Gray about this.
Eli also is going to probably help with some xenobiology stuff since that's a focus. Probably different aspects, I'm not sure what. And probably help write up a report on the first contact.
Alright, can everyone doing reports in contact do a reason command check for me?
Since I'm just doing xenobiology, wouldn't mine be reason science or something?
I will allow science with your with your focus. If Eli will have his focus on the command roll.
I get my focus, so if I'm using command, that's 5. Is this for the first contact and the xenobiological stuff, or is this both?
I'm going to say for both.
All right.
Your report is pretty thorough, Eli.
So like my stuff isn't going through, so give me a second. I'm gonna, I don't know, close the window and come back.
Yep. Okay.
There it went.
Go. It was just rather delayed. So your
delayed.
Yeah, your report is a bit more basic, but it did get the overall gist of what happened. Not as extensive, not as thorough, but it's fine enough.
Her first roll was the 2 successes. The second roll, trying to get it started, was the 1.
Okay, yeah. All right. So now then the reports are actually much better than. You're both submitted really good support reports, and people in charge are going to know what's going on and will have the information they need to figure out, what's actually going to happen with Bob now that he's not just a science project, but an actual person now. So with that, the scientists sort of farewell. Ensign Stanley leaves with them, and the Reliant returns back to its usual programming.
Kara's there to see Stanley off. She watches him board the shuttle with the strange blob thing and just kind of waves at him and says, "Enjoy your time at Daystrom."
I will be stopping on the way via a starbase. I won't be going all the way to the Daystrom Institute.
Well, enjoy the trip. You've got some great company.
Eli's there too to see him off. I hope we meet again.
Drog is also there and gives him a very quick Klingon salute and a quick nod.
So, Stanley looks at Bob a bit awkwardly, but sort of looks back to Kara and everyone, gives you a odd, sort of like slightly creeped out, but not too bad smile, and then sort of just walks back into the. He walks fully into the shuttle and to sit down and get ready for launch.
Kara just turns and heads out, chuckling to herself.
And unless there's any finishing scenes people want,
I'm sure we're going to have people beating down our door for this one. Cray, if nobody else.
for now, Cray does get in contact with the captain. He talks to you about what the crew found, about the interactions you've had on the ship, about what you've discovered regarding the ship and temporal movement of that ship. You don't have a lot in terms of, like how the ship traveled, but you give him a personal debriefing, and Cray takes control and say, well, we will deal with the remnants of the ship and store it within our temporal vaults.
Standard rules apply, everybody. Don't tell everybody about time travel.
And I think that's it. That's where we're going to leave for this episode. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed my little adventure this afternoon, evening, day, whenever you're listening to this episode. And we'll see you next time.
Farewell.